Durham County Sheriff says they've been able to take more than 200 guns off the street this year, but crime is still on the rise in the Bull City, and he says more needs to be done. CBS 17's Crystal Price spoke with Sheriff Burkhead about what efforts are underway at the sheriff's office to combat the problem.
It's out of control.
Shootings are up 40% in the Bull City. And city officials say COVID and gang activity is to blame.
Bullets are going through cars and going through homes and windows, and innocent people are being injured and killed.
Sheriff Clarence Burkhead says he has worked closely with Durham Police Chief C.J. Davis, and both departments have stepped up their enforcement. Together, both departments have seized more than 700 guns in the last year. The sheriff's office has seized everything from handguns to assault weapons in traffic stops and drug busts over the last year.
And even though we've seized those weapons, there's still way too many weapons on the street and that end up in the hands of those who use them to perpetrate some of the violence that we're seeing.
Sheriff Burkhead says he is in support of stricter gun legislation that would require gun owners to properly secure their weapons, or else they could be held accountable if their gun is stolen and used in a crime. He says his office is also working on creating a violent crime unit focused on finding those responsible for the recent shootings.
And we know that there's a small number of individuals who are committing the bulk of the violent crime in Durham. And I'm convinced that if we can identify those individuals, apprehend them, and bring them to justice, then we can curb much of the gun violence in Durham.
Burkhead also talked about how there is a high repeat offender rate in Durham. One example is Armand Lewis Langston, who was arrested and released the same day after he was charged with possession of a firearm by felon back in October. 3 weeks later, he was charged with shooting an off-duty deputy.
We continue to see the same individuals again and again, then we need to hold them accountable.
In Durham, Crystal Price, CBS 17 News.
Crystal, thank you. Sheriff Burkhead says he'll be releasing more about his plans to create a unit focused on violent crime next week.